Hello, friendos and not so friendos. My name is NoodleHouse and we're back on Raging Loop. And we're now back to where we hear the scream in the distance in the outhouse. And we have the ability to now keep still for the night and not go and get ourselves absolutely murdered by a massive werewolf. What was that? It sounded like someone's life was in danger. And then something dangerous was nearby. Wait, I couldn't be rash. The world didn't have many things that logic couldn't explain. Like the existence of murderers. But until I saw the source of the scream myself, it was nothing but a source of fear. Get in there. I can't remember what voice I gave her, it's been a while since I played it. Get in there, lock yourself in, stay inside the whole night and don't make a sound. I reached to open the door, but something stayed my hand. It was my promise to Chiemi. And the fact that I died last time I did this. But that scream just now was very real. It wasn't normal. I had to assume the situation was dangerous and maybe I could help it if I went... And maybe I could help if I went outside, not help it if I went outside. But that meant endangering myself. I was no saint, I had no plans to rectify that. If there was something that could get me to walk out, it would be curiosity. My curiosity had won over many dangers thus far. But right now, it was weaker than my fear and risk of death. Why? Because I already knew. I got killed by it. Shit, what the hell even were those memories? It wasn't a premonition, a dream, or anything else that vague. My brain recognized it as something I'd experienced. But how? After all, I was still alive, and the time from those memories had yet to come. Was I a precog or something? By God. By God! I swore I'd never experienced anything like this before coming here. And why did the memory come back to me at this particular moment? Regardless, that overwhelming fear, and the pain and death that followed, were exactly what waited for me if I opened the door. I couldn't feel more certain of that. The thoughts rendered me unable to move, immobile. I stood still, completely certain that I'd lost my chance to leave. I wasn't childish enough to sneer at selfish decisions, but this still didn't feel good. Not to mention I was upset at myself for not being able to act like me and just run out simply because I was curious. I didn't even feel saved. Until that moment. Suddenly, the door began to shake and my controller began to vibrate. This place had a handle on the outside, and someone was pulling on it hard. There was a lock, sure, but there was only so much it could take before it broke. I prepared to pull on it from inside, but... Get in there, lock yourself in, stay inside the whole night, don't make a sound. What would happen if I did? Whatever was outside would instantly know I was there. Even if I protected the door, the thing had lots of other ways of hurting me. Like crushing the thing. Did you see the size of that bastard? But what if it didn't know about me and was just weirded out by this randomly locked toilet? What if it really needed a dump, but the toilet was locked? Would I be screwed? Probably. What if I didn't show a hint of fear to what it was doing? Would it just leave? I chose to just wait and see. Once again, someone pulled the door, shaking the structure as a whole. I gulped down a scream and focused on the lock. If it broke, it'd be over for me. Over as in, I'd be dead. Big dead. And the big kitsune thing would kill me. The werewolf. The one. That was what the memory told me. I was powerless back then, and even more so now. Assuming I tried to fight back, what would work? I'd heard that teeth were the hardest part of the human body, so maybe I could bite? Yeah, I'd tear whatever it was apart with my teeth. I'd bite it to death. Sure, whatever you say. I gathered my wits in killing intent. Grinding my teeth, I glared at the door. How long had it been? The sound suddenly stopped. For all I knew, it might have been a ploy to make me drop my guard. I'd slowly count to 500. If nothing happened in that time, then I'd assume it went away. I'm glad it's not actually making me count to 500, by the way. There were no screams or attacks after that, but the silence around me improved my perception, and I heard strange noises every now and then. Breathing, growling, claws on the ground. Basically, I felt a beastly presence. You know, that thing. So that thing actually existed here? Was it what the mist brought here from the Saranaga? The wolf is coming. Did they all know about this? Shit, I couldn't learn anything in a place like this, and not knowing things scared me. Trusting my prescience, or deja vu, or whatever it was, I chose to just stay quiet and wait. I'd find out everything tomorrow. I just had to make it through the night and then talk to Chiemi. And if it was something I couldn't solve, I'd just run away. Thankfully, my bike repairs were going well, but I'd be leaving even if it didn't work. I'd walk to oh my god. Every time I see that word, my brain just freezes up. I'd walk to Kamafuji Yoshi if I had to. Unlike Yasumizu, they might have had reliable means of transport. For now, I just had to stay awake and make it through the night. I made it to dawn and I got a trophy. Yay, trophy. 5:13. One thing I do want to check, because I can look at the chart, I think. If I go to the chart... Alright, cool, we're in section 3. I never liked seeing night gradually turn brighter as the morning arrives. It always made me feel like shit, and like I'd just done something harmful both for my body and as a human being in general. I found it natural to spend the night asleep and welcome the morning well rested and with a smile. I never expected to feel so much gratitude for the morning light leaking through the door of an outhouse. It felt like the beasts had been out and about the whole night. I don't know why my brain read that really weirdly. Naturally, the high humidity here had made my clothes all wet and sticky. Or is that the piss? It might be the piss from where I wet myself last night. Probably the piss. It was unpleasant, but even trying to move them and make it more comfortable for myself felt like a matter of life and death. Maybe it was a good thing I couldn't relax, but hell, it was exhausting in more ways than one. When I heard Chiemi shout Haruaki-san in the distance, I was so overcome with relief I almost fell to my knees. If this turned out to be a trick and I opened the door to see some wolf with a chewed collar in its mouth lunging for my throat, I'd just give up and let it have me at this point. With that in mind, I opened the door. I expected to see the same picturesque village I'd seen yesterday, but what I actually saw shocked me pretty hard. There was blood everywhere. What the hell was up with this thick mist? I couldn't see shit. It's good, because it was in my pants, and I'm kind of glad I couldn't see my own shit. It was like the entire area was consumed by it. Did someone line every inch of this place with dry ice or something? Haruaki-san! I could hear Chiemi, but not see her. Chiemi-chan, I'm right here. Haruaki-san, what a really are? I heard a wet sound, and finally saw a silhouette within the mist. Are you okay? I'm stuck in the field. I walked up and saw exactly what I expected. A girl struggling to free one of her legs stuck deep in the paddy field. I see. Well, good luck. Hey, help me out. Oh, you can't do it yourself. Take my hand then, and up you go. I tugged her hand and braced my legs. That was enough to help her, but she lost her balance and... Whoa, safe. Hey, look, this is a wrestling move. You're actually pulling it off. Despite how close we were now, this wasn't the least bit romantic. Anyway, I'm glad you're okay. And not, you know, torn to shreds by the fucking werewolf I didn't tell you about, you know. Because, you know, fuck you and all that. I didn't tell you about it. Yeah, you happy that I didn't tell you about it? Guess what? I didn't tell you about it. I definitely remembered a time where I was far from alright, though. Yeah, I guess I am. I had no idea what that was about, so I didn't see any reason to mention it. I did feel like there was some beast outside. Chiemi's expression immediately darkened. She clearly knew what I was referring to. I have lots of questions, but right now, I'm more interested in the scream I heard than anything else. That was... Huh? You know what I mean? She fell silent, clearly uncomfortable. It was pretty ominous. This way. No point delaying the inevitable. Chiemi gave me her hand. I took it, but I didn't feel the least bit excited about this. We're holding hands. She led me down the path to the school dorm. Oh god, I can't remember the fucking voice. Oh, Fushaishi-shan. You're okay? Congrats on surviving, Toilet Man. Thanks, Warm Futon Man. You're okay too, huh? Wait, how's Harry-chan? Did she? Oh, she's fine. Oh, she's fine. She suffered quite a shock. She's taken a while to get dressed. I see, so the rest of you already gone and move on. How did you even handle being in there anyway? Were you asleep? As if I could. I had no idea when I could get out, so just waited until I heard Chiemi-chan's voice. Huh, you were awake? Yes, Naga-kun made it sound like that was weird. You try sleeping in there, guy. You can't even sit, much less lie down. No, that's not what I see. I really hate when people just trail off like that. It makes me way too curious. Why are you here anyway? Waiting for Haru-chan and keeping a lookout. A lookout? We're not letting anyone near the scene until the situation is clear. Scene? So someone actually... Want to see? It's a good way to test your stomach. Mochi, don't mess around like that. Yeah, I do. The invisible and unknown were way scarier than anything else. Not to mention, I could already smell something foul. Probably the shit in my pants from last night where I shit myself from being so scared. Or maybe the piss from when I wet myself from being so scared. Both are options. I lightly moved them aside and walked up to the so-called scene. Who's dead? Oh, there was a corpse. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. If we can hide this, I can make out a foot. I can make out a head. I can make out a hand. I can make out giblets and I think bones. So, all in all, you know, I think that is a corpse. It was in such a horrible state it was hard to recognise it as human. I imagine this is what you would have gotten if you overturned a butcher's cart. Ugh. Note how thoroughly the victim was disassembled. Although the butcher would have had to deal with entrails. Enough of that comparison. Straining my eyes to look through the thick mist, I could actually make out some human parts within the vast sea of blood, or mountain of death. Hands, torn clothes, hair, and a shoulder bag. How professional. She kept hold of her interviewing tools. Oh shit, it was there. Even while running for her life. Didn't do her odds of survival any favours though. So that's a journalist. Damn, she got fucking wrecked. Despite the body's state, it wasn't hard to tell the victim was Hisako Mamiya, the small-time food journalist. Fucking hell, she got wrecked. That thing. Did it come to me once it was done murdering her? This is awful. Are you alright? Feel nauseous or anything? Chemi was standing a short distance away, looking at nothing in particular. I got nothing to puke and, well, I'm used to this. How are you used to it? What? Is this what you're studying in college? Well, I guess you can say that. I just murder women and cut them up anyway, so it's just normal Friday for me. Huh, seriously? So you can do autopsies and stuff? When asked if they study medicine, I guess you can say that is what students from similar departments say to make themselves look good. But I did see a few pathology analyses. You know, when I murdered my victims. I'm just making him a murderer now, that's his character now. I crouched down and put my hands together. Then, grimacing at the harrowing reek of blood, innards and especially digested food, I brought my face closer. Perhaps I could learn something from this. Why are you doing this? I could, even if it wasn't much. This corpse wasn't split in pieces. The limbs were still connected, but they were folded in an unnatural way and looked really flattened. Ugh. They're either crushed or bent with no regards to bone or muscle position. Then a whole body had been torn apart. The innards were... this is grim. The innards were particularly badly damaged. The word wolf down felt like the best way to put it. Yeah, wolf down. I mean, that's... good pun. Not the right time to make that pun, no friend. But good pun. I found it hard to describe. This wasn't my job, so there wasn't much I could tell about it without touching it. This is way beyond anything I've ever seen before. I can barely tell what happened here. I had an urge to add that this seemed inhuman. But I kept myself from saying that. Anyway, we should call the police, leave it to the pros. I say something any good citizen would, but for some reason, they didn't seem to agree. Harawaki-san, the police won't come. Why wouldn't they? I mean, someone died. They won't. Then let's evacuate. That's not happening either. Why? We have my bike in their van. Anyway, with Viscera-san, we now have all the survivors. Let's go to the dining hall. We'll wait for Haru-chan. Yeah, you do that. Let's go, Harawaki-san. Can I get an explanation? Sorry, but I'm not in the mood for explanations. Figure it out for yourself. You fucking cunt. It was the first time Chiemi had acted so harsh with me. I was pretty irritated myself, but it must have been worse for them. They actually had info on what was happening here. Sorry, that was insensitive of me. Instead, can you tell me what the fuck killed her? Chiemi said nothing more and just silently walked off. I followed after her, bemused, unentertained, and really confused by the murder that had happened, leaving a mound of person. When we reached the plaza, I instantly understood what she said about evacuating. The bike and the van were both completely destroyed. The latter was in particularly bad state. The front window was broken, all 4 tyres were flat, etc. My bike was on its side, its front fork was broken. Well, it was basically scrap metal now, fuck. There was a rock right next to it. Guess we had our weapon. And there were more remains inside the van. Oh my fucking god. Is that the other journalist? They look like an enormous mountain of flesh and bone. If I didn't know about Yudai Hashimoto-shi, I would have assumed that there were 2 or 3 corpses here. You calling him fat? You mean bastard. Hashimoto-san. Chemi slowly nodded. I now knew we'd not lost only 2 lives, but any means of transportation as well. Look there. She pointed at a wooden electrical pole. The line was dangling, torn apart with no hope of repair. The other power lines are fine, but the dining hall was destroyed along with the telephone line. We can't contact the outside. We're fucked. I took out my own phone. It worked, but the battery was almost dead, and like before, it was out of range. The situation had become even harsher than before. Look here too. Chummy walked a few steps away. I followed after. There was a large boulder. It was tall enough to reach an average roof, and there were drawings on it. And I have forgotten to mute my Discord, as always. A crimson symbol of some sort. What did it represent? At first it looked like an incoherent mess of lines. However, I soon realised there was a pattern. It felt like the calling card of some street gang. The Crips, maybe. Or perhaps the Bloods. From what I could tell, the basis was a warped diamond shape with a spiral inside. Oh yeah, I could see that. There were two of them. They seemed to be drawn in blood, but that wasn't nearly as disturbing as the bizarre shape. Two wolves have snuck into the village. We have to fight. Chummy made a quiet declaration. Apparently, this settlement had been invaded by something malicious, and it was intelligent enough to rid it of all means of escape or contacting help. I could understand that much, but it doesn't make sense to me. This wasn't some isolated island. There was the cliff, sure, but you could still go down to the Saranaga or go to Kamifujiyoshi. I'd ask about the next time I had the chance. Sorry. Sorry I got mad. It must be hard for you too. Don't worry about my erection. I'm just an outsider. Fuck's sake. Don't know why I made that joke. That was a bad joke. Don't say that. Oh, poor choice of words on my part. I mean, I'm an outsider who doesn't know the rules, so I'll just silently watch for the time being. I'm tired, but I think I'm less shaken by this than most people, so I figured it's best for me to stay cool. I imagined even the elders here are more bothered by this. Haruaki-san, are you really just some university graduate, or are you a fucking serial killer that's come here to murder me? What else could I be? A serial killer who's planning to murder you in your sleep? I don't know, you seem way too calm about this. Like you're used to situations like this, you know, where you murder people. My nerves are pretty messed up, I guess, from all the murdering I do. The small dining hall was jam-packed with people. And I'm going to end the episode here. If you like this video, don't forget to leave a like in the section below. And if you want to see more of this, then do subscribe to the channel, as I try to upload every day. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye!